is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome you to another edition of Loyalty Live. In this series, we talk to leading agencies, technology partners, and consultants in customer channel and brand loyalty about the technology trends and best practices that impact a brand's ability to drive unique experiences, enhance engagement, and most importantly, impact customer loyalty. It allows for a unique assessment of the state of customer loyalty as we assess and see different challenges within the market from our brand members. It allows these suppliers, these technologies, companies, and agencies to respond to them with the unique solutions that they're bringing forth in the market. So we're looking forward to the discussion today. And today we do have Nina Rose. She's the Senior Director of Strategic Services at the Lacek Group. How are you today, Nina?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'd like to start these off on a more personal level, get to know the person we're speaking with in a little more depth. So we'd love to know a little bit more about you, your current role at Lacek, maybe your background in customer loyalty.
Sure. I have worked in the loyalty space for over 20 years, starting on the client side and migrating over to the agency side. So I like to think that helps me have a balanced view when I'm working with my clients. Most recently, I've worked as a strategist at the Lacek Group, working on program design and program enhancement for a variety of clients in categories including travel, retail, financial services, and QSR. I have a particular interest in consumer research as it relates to loyalty, as well as in program economics.
Okay. Fun fact, we also like to get a passion you may have. Do you have 14 kids? Do you like to scuba dive? Do you like to jump out of planes?
Sure. I grew up in Southern California, so to set the stage, I never played on a formal sports team of any kind. But when I went to business school in upstate New York, I decided to go all in and thought it would be a great idea to join an intramural women's ice hockey team. So I learned to skate. I joined a team called the Frozen Assets and played with them for 2 seasons, went to tournaments, had the whole sports experience. My team members were really great sports with the new player and the new to hockey person. I now live in a Midwestern hockey community where a lot of kids grow up playing, so some knowledge of the rules of the game has come in handy.
Well, that's good then. Great to pick up things like hockey. I always thought my son would play hockey, but it didn't work out, so he did play soccer instead. So, but it's a beautiful game.
It is. Have you been watching a lot of the World Cup?
I've been watching a little bit of the World Cup. I've been watching a lot of NHL hockey as well. But yes, a little bit of World Cup. Do you still have a dog in the fight?
I'm excited for Messi and Argentina to have their shot.
Okay, good. My house seems to be unequivocally against Messi. Everyone seems to be a Ronaldo fan of my house, as I've been hearing. So I like Messi because he's short and he's fast. So yeah, but we will see.
We will see.
All right. So today I think we want to dive into some top trends for customer loyalty in 2023. We just completed a state of customer loyalty research, about 100 different brands, members of Loyalty360, around some things that they're looking at as challenges or opportunities in 23. What are you seeing with regard to, program relaunch, program redesign? There's a big interest in redoing, enhancing some of the functionality or the efficacy, improving the efficacy of their customer loyalty efforts. What are you seeing in that regard?
That is right in line with what we're seeing. We are receiving a lot of redesign requests. Companies are trying to shift from transactional to emotional programs, and they want programs to be experiential and engaging, not just in the moment, but in between transactions. So brands are really looking to understand member needs and let customers inform how to engage with them. On the customer side, customers are also looking for that emotional engagement. They really want brands to have purpose. This ties back to a bigger trend of a desire for authenticity. And customers want to understand what a brand stands for, and that's really important for the customer-brand relationship. Thinking about relaunches in particular, programs are never one and done. They need to evolve. And the past couple of years have really demonstrated how businesses need to evolve in order to stay relevant. And the same is 100% true for programs. If your program hasn't refreshed in a couple of years, it's probably time. So as a result of all this, innovation workshopping and design thinking from a customer first perspective are really hot with our clients right now.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we saw in our research paper is that there's this idea of sea of sameness. I'm sure you're quite familiar with that, that a lot of programs have become very similar, right? So being able to have a unique value proposition, being able to engage the customer in a unique and personalized manner is very challenging. So many brands feel that there's this sea of sameness and they want to kind of move away from that. Is that something you've seen? And if so, how do brands address that?
It's true that a lot of programs are very similar, and that's often the foundation for putting a program into place. The way around that is to understand what unique experiences your brand, your program has to offer. So, what do you have that can't easily be replicated? Is it the best selection, the best service, the highest quality? Is it a fun design? Whatever it is, ideally, it's something that customers want or something that addresses a pain point. And programs need to find a way to bring that in. That's the way to differentiate.
Okay. Excellent. And when you look at some of the challenges in the market, another thing that we see is that getting the technology stack to be a stack that can actually do it. There's a lot of different technologies out there. There's a lack of metrics. There's a number of challenges that we see in the market. What are some of the challenges that your clients are coming to you for? Maybe even prospects are coming to you for and asking regarding their customer loyalty efforts?
I think technology and reporting are always critical for a successful loyalty program. One thing that many companies are seeing now is employee attrition, and informed employees are key to delivering that excellent loyalty experience. Frontline employees are just the ambassadors for programs, and their knowledge and enthusiasm are huge assets for promoting programs. So regular communication and training to keep the program front and center are really important. We at the Lacek Group sometimes focus on change management. We have a framework that we use where we think of head, heart, and hands. The heart is about emotion, what will pull employees in. The head's about the logic. What do they need to understand in terms of what's important to the business and to them? And the hands are about their behavior. What do they have to do, and do they have the tools to succeed? So applying a framework like that allows the brand and the program to focus on what's most important.
Okay. When you look at the challenge to address that, right? Because you're absolutely right. Having employees engaged in the program, understanding the program is a big challenge for a number of brands, especially ones that have more, quick service restaurants, hotels. They're seeing that pretty significantly, right? So we've seen an interest in having continuing education to help address that. How do you help brands address those challenges that they're seeing in regard to employees, getting the employee involved?
I think communication is key, and that is communication at all levels at the right level of granularity. So getting buy-in throughout the organization from leadership all the way down to the frontline employees is really important to have simple messaging that demonstrates the value for both the employees and the customers and the brand. And every audience needs to understand what's in it for them.
Okay. And what do you think is the next big thing for customer loyalty? Is there a topic, a trend, a technology, an idea that you think that marketers should be on the lookout for?
I think next year's big thing is going to be the economy. Inflation is up, prices are rising, people are waiting to see how things play out. And this is driving another trend of a hyper focus on value. So customers are definitely looking for this. And it's not necessarily discounts and rebates, but the larger experience and that experience between transactions. So how can you make your program worth your customers' time? On the program side, this could also mean revisiting the economics. There's a decent focus on program ROI, and brands recognize that it's important to invest, but maybe are approaching with a little more caution than they typically would. So there might be an opportunity to refine some assumptions that were made at program launch using current data and just think about whether any adjustments might need to be made.
No, you're absolutely right. That is a big area of interest as well. Is the ROI in the program, integrating new technologies. What's the return for that? Can be, especially if you're looking at more personalized offers or things like NFTs or Web 3.0. Is it something that is is it there more stake there? Is there more sizzle? Is it too early to be looking at some of these platforms? But I think brands, how they look at and calculate the return on the program is something that has a huge area for growth in 2023 for sure.
Absolutely.
So when you look at some of these new trends that you're seeing, you talked about simplicity, you talked about redesign, you talked about some of the things that the brands are coming to you for. How do brands incorporate these new trends into the existing loyalty program? Is there some, one thing that you could recommend to them that could help them, initiate a change to help them improve the efficacy and efficiency of the programs?
I am always a big fan of test and learn as a good approach to start with. And that could come in the form of limited time targeted promotions. It could be piloting in certain markets. It could be A/B testing. It could be customer research. All of these things can provide insightful data, at the same time limiting a program's exposure so the brand can make smart decisions moving forward.
Absolutely. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today. It was very interesting to get your insight, regarding some of the challenges and opportunities you see for 2023 and what the Lacek Group is focusing on. Very insightful. And again, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for the opportunity. Have a great day.
And thank you everyone for listening. Make sure you join us again for another edition of Loyalty Live. Have a wonderful holiday and have a great 2023. Thank you.